Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. I've got a good one for you today. I'm going to talk about the digital ID nonsense that they want to shove down our throats and how you're about to lose every ounce of privacy and have everything you do get tracked. So hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. We have a sponsor today, Delete Me, which I will talk about in a bit. But let's get right into it. You know, it's funny. The UK right now is pushing for a digital ID, and they think that this should be something that should be globally where we can all share it. And because of the mass migration that they've had in the UK, they think that this would be a wonderful idea. Well, this is anything but that. And you can research this yourself, but I'm going to give you everything I found on it, and it's absolutely nothing short of disturbing. So let's get right into it. First thing you're going to, it's mass surveillance and tracking of each and every one of us. And you would have all of your pertinent information basically online and basically on a chip or a card that you would have to have either through a phone, or you'd have to have a digital ID of some sort that the government would be able to track. Now, the thing about this is it's complete loss of anonymity. And think about this. People go, what is anonymity, Dan? Do we really have anonymity? Sure you do. Sure you do. And I'm going to prove it to you. You can go right now and you don't have to log into YouTube to watch this video. You can sit there and you can watch, videos anonymously. You can go shop the internet anonymously. You can walk in and buy things and basically go get a prepaid debit card and be John Smith and go buy whatever you want to buy. You can go do that right now. Well, it's going to change. So the other thing, to give you a perfect example, we're tracked in everything that we do. And to have a little anonymity helps you. I had to buy an airline ticket. And I go, I'm going to prove this to my audience. So I went to my laptop that I use every day that has smoke blowing out of it because it's so busy. And then I went to another computer, cleared the browsing history, and looked up the same airline ticket for the same flight. The anonymous ticket, $37 cheaper. Okay? It's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. Dan from Orange County should pay $37 more. It's utterly ridiculous. My buying history, everything that the airlines have, it's shameful that they can do that. Now, that's the beginning of it, guys, but you're going to have centralized control. They're going to be able to know where you're at, where you're going, who you're with. You're going to have think about it. You're going to have instant suspension of your shopping rights, your voting rights. You would have your personal health care online. You'd have your voting online. You'd have your social media connected to that. Now you can sit there and say, "Oh, I don't have much of that stuff, Dan." You don't want any of this stuff connected. And if you guys go to my private channel, if you go to iAllegedly Live, I'm talking about some stuff that's going on in other countries with social media. It's insane right now. So check out iAllegedly Live. Go to iAllegedly.tv to see that because it's nuts right now. Now think about this. Everything would be tied. Your bank accounts, healthcare records, travel and border control, education records and employment verification, social media, government tax filings, the all-in-one social media, all-in-one Dan account. No, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. You know what's funny? There was a man that ran the school districts in, I believe it was Iowa or Idaho, one of those states. Anyways, this guy never got his doctorate, lied about everything, wasn't even an American citizen, and was making 300 grand a year with a school district that had uh, thousands of students. Absolutely crazy. And the guy got found out. Okay, got arrested. But again, you're going to see more and more of the stuff that they want to push on you to make it so that you know they can track us. And people sit there and go, "Oh, it's no big deal. We already have this." No, we do not. We have nothing like this. Okay. They're going to tie it to the central bank digital currencies. And again, people are broke, so they love this idea of a standard, basic income. Wouldn't that be great, Dan, if everybody got $1,000 a month? No, it wouldn't be. Prices would go through the roof, guys, and everything. It's not going to make it so that you can survive. Now, Social Security is different. People have paid into Social Security. They earned that money. They earned those monthly checks, and that was the idea of that, was to make it so that when people got in their older years, they could get by. Now, I hear about people getting things like $1,600. What is $1,600 going to do for somebody in a month? Really, seriously, not much, you know. So we've talked so much about, getting hacked, all the financial problems. You don't want all your data in one spot. You want to be anonymous. You want this. You don't want that. Think about it. They can control how you spend your money, where you spend your money, how you travel. It's funny. My daughter calls me and goes, hey, you should go on this one trip with me. And imagine if they go, no, Dan, we think you're traveling too much lately. You can't do that. It's a prime target for hackers once we get this information. Plus, the UK is vulnerable to these hacks too. So, permanent data trails. I love this. Everything we do would be completely tracked, and it would be a disaster. It is. I mean, the stories that I gathered on this for you guys are intense, because isn't this a great idea? Just think, you'll have to have one ID. You can have all your credit cards in one place. No. No, 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 no. Okay? The next thing will be biometric data, and that includes fingerprints, iris scans, facial recognition. Now, a lot of stadiums are using facial recognition. I have relatives that have told me I will never go to another sporting event if they're going to take my picture. Guys, they take your picture everywhere. So that's one thing that, I'm going to sit there and say I don't agree with it, but do they know that it's you? Are they, scanning like my buddy Gary tells me about the, your license plates? Are they doing that? Yeah, all the time. And the data, please understand this. My buddy that sent me this information, you don't get like real-time data unless it's some felon that they're trying to protect somebody from. If you have somebody whose life is in danger and they say, watch out for this guy, he drives this car. If that car, whether that person was driving it or not, was unlucky enough to drive within the perimeter of one of those locations and was picked up on those cameras, you bet there'd be a problem. Rightfully so. Could save somebody's life. It's gonna have an erosion of due process. You won't be able to, hey, listen, guilty until proven innocent. I love that. So, you know, freedom of movement, freedom of association. Gosh, Dan, you sure do like to hang out with Yankee fans. Gosh, did you guys, it's funny. During the playoffs in baseball, I get a kick out of all the videos everybody sends me for all these teams where people melt down. I mean, I got to admit, I'm not fans or against these teams because my team's not in the playoffs, but it is funny to watch these people, grown men, completely lose their minds when they're, with bases loaded and we didn't score. It's funny. It's funny. So, right to privacy, right to transact, you know. Hey, don't worry, it's going to be voluntary in the beginning. No, it's nonsense. They want it. I heard this woman that runs Finland, and she was saying it's just going to be so great to be able to track everybody and, be able to see what they're doing. Yeah, that's what they want, guys. That's what they want. You want to go out and be able to start your own business. You want to be able to go out and learn something new, start a new hobby, whatever. You want to be able to do that. And this would make it so that it would be more and more difficult and you'd have Big Brother all over you. Let me know what you think about this so far, because when you read this stuff, it is so scary, so scary. Let's talk about our sponsor, Delete Me. One thing that we are all victim to are those spam phone calls, spam text messages, emails we didn't ask for. There is a great service called Delete Me. Delete Me every month compiles information that is collected by data brokers. Data brokers collect all of this information and then sell it to third parties. And there are hundreds of them. And one thing that Delete Me does is they will get your name, get your phone number, your email, your pictures, your home, your job, every personal, bit of personal information that they can remove from the internet so that you have an ounce of privacy. If you use the discount code iAllegedly, you can save 20% off their regular price. Use the link below to sign up for it. Even easier, use this QR code, take a picture of this with your phone, and you can sign up and save the 20%. But I'm telling you guys, I have had this service now for over a year, and it is absolutely amazing. They have eliminated so much, and I love the service. Check out Delete Me today. I'm sure you'll find it to be as good as I have. I mean, it's just fantastic. Check it out today. Now I'm out in Laguna Beach, and the tide came in and brought all the seaweed in, and it's crazy. You come out here 2 days later, this will not look the same. So brings it in, takes it out. That's just really, really cool. But there's a lot to talk about. The government shutdown. I found a great article that puts everything together for you on what's affected, what's not affected, from student loans to law enforcement. And again, basically, guys, it doesn't affect 99% of us. It really doesn't. Okay? Certain people are going to not get paid immediately, but when this gets settled and resolved, they're going to get paid, with interest. So it's not the end all. The government's still working, guys. Few things when it comes to EV cars. Now that you've got the $7,500 rebate done, companies like Ford, Jim Farley, the CEO of Ford, he goes, we're tired of being in Tesla's shadow. Read this article because it's unbelievably honest that this guy said this. I have a little bit more respect that the guy said it this way. We're tired of living in Tesla's shadow. It's insane to have a $30,000 premium on a utility vehicle just because there's a battery attached to it. If something is $50,000 to $60,000, people cannot afford a $75,000 car that we don't make any money on. End of story, guys. End of story. Ford is adjusting their leases right now. Everybody is. Everybody's making all these different concessions. Even Tesla. Tesla said, "Hey, no $7,500 rebate. Your payment is going to go from $429 a month to $499 a month. The $479 car is going to go to $529." So prices are going up, guys. It's just that simple, and they're going to get around it. But a few things, man. Like I said, GM and Ford working around the tax credits. You're starting to see how all these different car companies are having more and more problems that are coming out now. BMW has a second recall in a week. Second recall. Again, backup cameras, all these different things that they have had problems with. And another one, you can read that article below, but let's see. Kia had another recall, 39,000 vehicles for a faulty HVAC system. Your heating and cooling that could cause fires. That's fun. I mean, come on, guys. It's like how many of these are we going to have? BMW, has again, because of an engine defect in 145,000 cars. That's what they're calling in. So recalling. Man, oh man, I mean, it's like what car is not under recall right now? That's what I'd like you to tell me. It seems like everything's under recall right now. So you're seeing this more and more. It's funny. I have multiple cell phones for my business and to do this. And one thing that T-Mobile just did was they hooked up with the satellite companies so that when you're at places like a beach and you don't have good cell phone service, it doesn't matter anymore. The T-Mobile just announced today, as of October 1st, that they're going to have the satellite system, and you're going to be able to use your phone, much easier, be able to text, be able to make phone calls, which is, it's not when you're laying on a beach that you don't want to call people or even be reached, but it's when you have an emergency. And you're going to be able to use WhatsApp and different apps that you'll be able to use basically globally wherever you're at with a T-Mobile phone, which is kind of nice. So they anticipate others will follow. I'm sure. I'm sure. So, you know, you know, there was a huge coffee study talking about how, if you drink coffee, and they did this with thousands of people. They did it basically with 500,000 people, saying that coffee is actually good for people with type 2 diabetes and helps them, lower their blood sugar. And let's face it, coffee's fabulous. It's the greatest drink in the world. I wish I had one with me right now. So, the other thing that's disturbing is, private payrolls for the month of September actually went down 32,000 people. We lost jobs in the United States in September. So for this economy that's doing so well, and guys like me, you're crazy to talk about in a negative way. We're supposed to believe that everything's hunky-dory, but we lost 32,000 jobs out. Not added, lost 32,000. So it'll be interesting to see if that gets revised downward, even worse, to where it's 80,000 or something. But again, ADP issues these reports. ADP did a bunch of glowing stuff during the last administration. They would always get revised down. They became unreliable. Here's one that says it's minus 32,000. So let me know. So much going on. McDonald's. Remember the Monopoly game? That was the one where people held the tickets and scammed McDonald's out of the big cash prize. I think it was $1 million. And they have not had that game for 10 years because of this, where they're bringing it back so people can win food, fries, all that stuff. And the thing about this is once you get the game piece, and if you're a winner, you have to scan the app and you have to bring the app in the store so they can pay the winnings. So I hate stuff like that, but it'll be interesting to see how that works. So, AT&T broker Aaron sent me something really good about how AT&T is moving out of a huge San Antonio location. And it's massive. It's hundreds of thousands of square feet. And they're going to go to a smaller location. And again, guys, this doesn't matter where you're at. Everybody's trying to figure out how they can cut back. But you're going to have more and more people lose their jobs during this time. And it's just a matter, Intel's firing more people. I keep getting layoff notice. I could just sit there and read layoff after layoff after layoff for you guys, but not everybody wants to hear that. So, final thing is young people are staying single for this one reason, because life is so expensive. No kidding. Get off your phone, go get a job, and date, okay? No, but people are electing not to even go out on dates because dates are so expensive. And again, I get videos sent to me about men complaining about how expensive dinner is. And, a glass of wine is $18 and all these different things that people talk about. Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And again, I'm telling you this right now, guys, you can meet people without spending $1. You can go to different meetup groups and places. I met a woman last week who she rescues greyhounds, but she runs a thing where she goes to the park, gets all these people to walk around the park, and they pick up trash at the park. Not for me, but I gave her the idea for the meetup group, and that's what she's going to do, so she can have more people join her and walk around. But you can go out and hang out and do some good for the world, okay? But there's running groups, hiking groups, beach groups, all this stuff that you can do. The weather's going to, like this is just, it's an autumn day, no big deal, but it's going to start to get colder where everybody's at. You're going to want to get out. And it breaks my heart to hear people don't want to date, people don't want to go out to dinner, people don't meet people. Loneliness is a killer. I'm telling you, ask Dr. Marvin, it's terrible. People need to communicate with other people. You need to have like-minded interests, and whether you're going to date people or not, just to get out there. And you need to stay away from the digital ID, because I think it's a frickin' scam, okay? And remember, hey, I can't eat for 17 days, they say, because I overspent my limit and they didn't like where I made my money from. Yeah, okay. Write me, hello@iallegedly.com. Don't forget to check out the private channel, make good choices, and, Have fun. Okay? Go to the beach, guys. Look at this. Hello. Hello. Okay? I'll see you soon.